This is the Conqueror GC. This is a British Tier 10 SPG, and the map is Tundra. This is a ranked battle. This is a difficult map for SPG because you could get spotted very easily if if the enemy is aggressive. Luckily, they don't have any light tanks, but it's also good for hitting over here. It's a ranked battle, and I'm going to tell you some of the players in the game that I recognize, meaning that I've been playing other games with them today or recently after I take this amazing shot. Okay, so Seguita I've seen in other games. Lake Tahoe I've seen in other games. Fuck Yourself I have seen. Evil Bruh I've seen. And some of these names like Ponzi sounds kind of familiar. And maybe Mongo. This is a funny name, Chicharron Atomico. So you basically just sit here and fire over here. I mean, these guys are definitely Unicum. But this is, SPG's Liquid Dream. Etsy, that was the name of my cat. Now you know the name of my cat. And spelled exactly the same way, not after the website. So I'm going to tell you the story about my cat, Etsy. I had a dog, and he was a Cocker Spaniel, and I lived in New York City in a very small apartment. And I noticed one day that he was depressed, because, you take him for a walk 3 times a day, you take him to the dog run 4 times a week, and he stays in this little apartment. They don't have a yard to run around in. There's no other family for him to socialize with or anything like that. And maybe once a week, if it was summertime, I could take him to Central Park when I hang out with my friends or when I go rollerblading. If any of you live in New York City and you used to go rollerblading on Blade Night, I used to do that. I knew Graham, who organized it. And so I got a cat. I spoke to someone who lived in my building, and she had 2 dogs, and she said, do not get another dog. She said, if you get another dog, whatever problem you have will become double. I said, yeah, that makes perfect sense. She said, get a cat. So I took her advice, and I got a cat. And I'm a computer programmer, contrary to what all the Unicums believe, who berate me in the forums. So I've been a computer programmer since the early 1980s, since the Commodore 64 came out. Even before then, when I was in 6th grade was the first time I had seen programming languages. We're talking about the 1970s. And I used the computer like crazy. On Linux machines, I started using Linux in 93. So I've been using it for a long time. On Linux machines, there is a folder etc, which is etc. And etc, as you know, is a Roman Latin phrase. So there were a lot of foreigners in the company that I worked at. I worked at a company called Riddler, which at the time was the #1 video game website. We were in the top 10 for websites overall. Talking about like 1996. So I've been doing web development since 96. I was in on it really early. And they did not call it etc., which I really didn't understand because, Latin is Latin in every country. How could they not know etc was etc.? Or maybe etc is an American abbreviation because obviously etc is ETCETERA. So they would call it Etsy. They would call it the Etsy directory. And it wasn't just a few foreigners. I heard a lot of different people, not just at work, but my friends. Most of my friends were foreigners because I'm a first generation American. I come from a family of foreigners. My parents are from Italy. So they called it Etsy, and I said, I wanted a computer name, but I didn't want a nerdy name like Bit, or that was just too nerdy. So then I said, Etsy was a cool, computer-oriented, non-nerdy name. So I called my cat Etsy. We're talking about like 1998. Yes, smart move. Go next to your ally when you might get shot at. Someone else destroyed him. You don't want to do that. When you are going to be shot at, don't drive to your allies because they might not be spotted and you're just asking to have 2 tanks get shot instead of 1. So I called my tank Etsy, and when I see the name and the website being so famous, well, my cat, he's gone a long time ago. He was a sweet little cat. Maybe I'll show you a photo of him when this game is over. I don't know if you've ever had dogs or cats, but it's a great experience to have a dog. And cats are definitely interesting experiences. But I'm not allowed to have pets in my building here in the Philippines. There's wild animals everywhere. You go outside, you'll see wild dogs and wild cats. You don't see it in the U.S. And they, like in Colombia, the dogs will sit by the side of the road. They know not to go in the road. In the U.S., it's not like that. U.S., they'll run in the road. And if you live in New York City, you'll know that there's cats everywhere. There's wild cats, and a lot of stores, like many grocery stores, will have a cat that lives at the grocery store. And you'll see the food dish for the cat. And I remember I went to go get my computer repaired, and at the computer repair shop, they had a cat. The local bodegas have cats, and the cats at night will sit outside and stare at people. So cats are very much a part of New York City. I should go for the T95 because he could reset cap. That's the smart thing to do, but I'm not smart. He might not have dove over. He might be going for a sniping position, so I'm going to blind fire. Oh, you know what? That might have not have been a smart move. It wasn't. Yeah, he moved over here. So I know you probably missed this, but people harass me in the forums because of the comment I made about win. Someone made fun of me because of my win rate, and I told them, go. I didn't say go F yourself, but I gave all this evidence as to why win rates are kind of meaningless. And so people have been berating me, and people harass me all the time. It's constant. Every day people harass me. Okay, so we should head for the cap. We should go to the cap. We want to help the team out because we don't know what this M48 patent's going to do. It's going to be a side angle shot. I'm sorry, I lost track of what I was saying. After the game, there's a good chance that someone's going to leave me an offensive message. Okay, I screwed that up. We need to be near the cap because there's a chance we will have to cap or help out the guy who's capping. And you don't want to be an SPG from far away. You want to be relatively close. You don't want to get shot, but you want to be able to get on the cap. We're down to 5.5 minutes. What if we have to cap in order to win the game? What does it say? 1776 damage. Happy July 4th. Okay, we're going to see if the guy sent me an offensive message. He was berating me because I was playing SPG in ranked battles, so I told him that SPG is perfect for combating medium tanks. 2,000 damage. Man, you suck. That's funny because didn't I say man you suck over here? Wow. Very original. I mean, seriously, it says right over here, man, you suck. And he basically copied me. Wow. You really burned me on that. Okay, 2,000 damage.